If you're using an Excel formula and it gives you an answer that you'd rather not have, you can turn to a feature called Goal Seek. In fact, we're on a sheet called Goal Seek in the workbook 13 Data Analysis. There's a formula in cell J4. It's using the function called PMT. It calculates the monthly payback on a loan. In the scenario here, we're looking at a rate of 3.5%, payoff over 60 months. We're borrowing $24,000. What will we pay each month? The payment function takes the rate divided by 12, the term in months, and then the principal. If you want to see the answer as a positive number, put a minus in front of it. Otherwise, it'll appear as a negative. $437. If we borrow $24,000, pay it off over 5 years, that's 60 months, interest rate 3.5%. Let's say we've been thinking about this for a while, and all along we were planning on spending $500 a month. We want this number to be 500. How can we change it? Well, we can change the rate, the term, the principal. But what do we really have control over? Probably not so much the rate. We could shop around at different savings and loans. Credit unions perhaps come up with a different rate. We do have some control over the term, and we could certainly borrow more to make this be 500. But rather than guessing and going back and forth here, let's just cut to the chase and say, let's make this be 500. We do it with a feature called Goal Seek. It's on the Data tab in the ribbon under the category What If Analysis. Goal Seek. Find the right input for the value you want. We'd like to change this cell, J4, to be the value 500. Now, of course, you could imagine another situation that says, I want this to be only 400. But we have to decide which of the three portions of the formula we want to change. And we can only point to one of them. Let's say it's the principal. That means it's going to allow us to borrow more money. Click OK. Excel comes up with an answer immediately. We can now borrow $27,485. And if we keep the rate and the term the same, that's what it's going to be. If we want to keep this, we'll click OK. If not, we'll cancel it. We could try it a different way by varying the term. Maybe we don't need to borrow anymore, but we do want to shorten the term. What if analysis? Goal Seek. Set this value to be 500 by changing which cell, this time the term. Click OK. We have an answer. That probably isn't exact, but for now it's just fine. If you look in the formula bar, it says 51.786. Close enough. So, different approaches here. Here's another way to use it. You're taking a course somewhere, they're giving number grades. 100 is best, 90 and above is an A. You've got 88 here. This is averaging the scores, including the empty cell for the test you haven't taken yet. The average function, by the way, does consider all entries here and divides by the number of cells where there are values. So right now it is accurate. It's adding up these cells and dividing by 6. You haven't taken your final test yet. What do you need to get on that test for this to be a 90 or above? Well, you could start guessing here. That wouldn't take too long, but let's try Goal Seek. Active cell is there. What if analysis? Goal Seek. Set this cell to the value 90 by changing which cell? The test we haven't yet taken in cell J13 right there. Click OK. And for some reason, that seems to take a bit of time, doesn't it? There we are. In order to get a 90 average, we need to get 102 in the final test. Well, that's not going to work so well. What if we go back again, cancel this? How about make this be 89.5? Maybe that will work. Back to what if analysis, Goal Seek, set this cell to the value 89.5 by changing which cell? Same one, J13. Click OK. Once again, it seems to take some time. Well, maybe we can pull this off. If we get 99 on our test, looks like we'll get an 89.5, slightly higher average. That'll work. We'll get our A. Good enough. Let's keep it. Now, more business-like opportunity to use this. We've calculated some new salaries over here in column C. Everybody gets a 2.71% increase. What's the total of the new salaries? We can click column C and look in the status bar at the bottom of the screen, and there's that sum, 61 million. But let's put it on the worksheet right here as an actual function. We can type equal sum or possibly just use the auto sum button. It's found on the Formulas tab as well as the Home tab. I'm going to click Auto Sum here and then simply click column C. There's nothing in column C except those numbers and the text on top. So there's the total. You're the chief financial officer of this organization, and based on sales and projections, you've determined we can afford to spend more than new salaries. Why not just make this $62 million? Well, we could start guessing by changing this percent. Every formula here in column C is based on the salaries in column B as well as that entry in E1. In other words, the percent of increase. This one does, they all do. So let's use GoalSeek to make this number be 62 million by changing this value here. And we don't want to be guessing. Let's just, as we said before, cut to the chase, go to the Data tab, What If Analysis, GoalSeek. We want this cell here to be equal to the value 62 million, 62,000,000. By changing which cell. Click here, click in cell E1. Okay, we're done. Notice how much faster that was. It had to deal with about 700 rows of data compared with what we were doing over here in column J. I'm not sure quite why that is, but we've got an answer here, and we can keep it by clicking OK. All the salaries in column C have been readjusted. Our formula, remember, in cell E3 is tabulating the total of column C. Click OK, we're done. Now, it's not quite perfect. As I click cell E1, look in the formula bar, or as I double click right here, you can see what's going on. Not quite exact. Now, in a real life situation, maybe you'll just say, well, why don't we make this 4.18, 4.19 maybe. Let's just try 4.18. That's going to be close enough. We want to have a number available that's reasonable to work with. If we keep this at 4.18, not quite perfect, but let's say close enough. Not quite 62 million, but it's only off by what, 2,861, something like that. Anyway, we've got our answer here, and we adjusted all of our entries in column C to get to a total that's just about what we want it to be, using the feature called GoalSeek, found in What If Analysis on the Data tab.